Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to start our new lesson on 10.2 and its central measures of tendency. We're going to talk about four things. I'm assuming all four things you are already familiar with and you have done in elementary school. So let's go ahead and take a look. So 10.2 is on measures of central tendency, and our learning target is I can describe a set of data using the mean, median, range, and mode. So we have four different definitions that we need to talk about. Definition number one is the mean, and the mean is the sum of our data, and you divide by the number of items. So if you take a look on the right, on the red, I have my 5 numbers. I've added them all up, and I've divided by 5 because there was 5 numbers, and I get 6, so my mean is 6. We often use the word average to describe the mean. My next word is median. Median is the middle value. So in my set of data, if you take a look on the right, where it is written in blue, I have 5 numbers, so I go from each side and I start crossing things off. So if I zoom in here, I start on the left side, I cross one off, I'm going to cross one off on the right. I cross one off on the left, I cross one off on the right, and 7 is going to be my median. If I have 2 numbers left, I'm actually going to add them up and divide by 2. So my median is 7. Mode is probably the easiest one to find. Mode is just the number that appears the most. I can have more than one mode. If I have the exact same amount of numbers, okay, so let's say I have like a 3, a 4, a 7, an 8, and a 9, I would have no mode. If I have 2 3s, 2 4s, 2 7s, 2 8s, and 2 9s, I would have no mode. If I have a number that appears more often than others, that appears the same amount of times as another number, I would have multiple modes. So for instance, in this example, I have a 3, 4, 7, and 2 8s, so 8 is the mode. If I was to add in another 3 into that set of data, then my modes would be 3 and 8. Last but not least is the range. The range is just the difference between the greatest value and least value, so all you have to do is subtract. So if you take a look on the right in purple, my greatest value was 8, my least value was 3, so my range is 5 because 8 minus 3 equals 5. So let's do a couple examples here. So I'm going to just find the mean, median, mode, and range. The first thing that you want to do with your data set is to order them from least to greatest, and I have already done that. So I have 3, 3, 3, 9, 15, 15, 17, 17, and 26. When I'm finding the mean, I need to add all of those numbers up. I've already done that, and I get 108. I then need to divide by the number, amount of numbers I have in my data set, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I do 108 divided by 9, and I get 12. So my mean is 12. I'm going to go to mode next just because that one's pretty easy. You'll notice I have 3 3s, 2 15s, and 2 17s. So 3 is going to be my mode because there's 3 of them. That's the number that appears the most. Next, I'm going to do range. My greatest value is 26. My least value is 3, so I subtract, and I get 23. The last thing that I need to do is find the median. So I'm going to go from both sides, and I'm going to start crossing numbers off. So 1 on each side, until I have just one number left in the middle. So my median is 15. Alright, I have one more example I'd like to show you. This time I have a stem and leaf plot. Again, we're going to want to order our numbers from least to greatest. I've already done that on the bottom. You can see my data set is 82, 85, 92, 100, 100, 102, 110, 110, 115, 115, 115, 125, and 127. The first thing I'm going to do when I'm finding the mean is to add up all of those numbers. I've already done that, and I got 1,378. So I now need to divide by the total numbers I have, and I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. I have 13, so I'm going to divide by 13, and I get 106. Next, I'm going to find my mode. My mode is the number that appears the most. I do have a few 110s. I do have a few 100s, but I have 3 115s, so that number is going to be my mode because it appears the most. Next one that I like to do is range because that's just the greatest minus the least. My greatest is 127. Subtract by 82. Whoops, I hit divide on my thing on accident. I think I'd be able to do that one in my head, right? And we get 45. And then last but not least, we want to find the median. So again, I like to just cross things off one at a time. So there's my big, there's my little, there's my big, there's my little, and I keep going until I only have one number left. If I end up with more than one number, then I'm going to add them up and divide by 2. This time it does not happen, and 110 is going to be our median. Hopefully that was a quick refresher for you on what it means to find mean, median, mode, and range. There is one more thing I want to talk about. We're not going to do these example problems. I just want to talk about what an outlier is. An outlier is a value that it doesn't belong. Okay, it's either far too great or far too small to be part of our data set. So in the example that I've given you right here, there's a bunch of zeros, ones, twos, all the way through 7, and then all of a sudden there's an 11. If there was more than one 11, then maybe it wouldn't be an outlier. However, there's only one. That point does not belong. Another example here. Take a look at my numbers. I've got 10, 6, 91, 5, 8, and 6. Clearly 91 does not belong. It's not even remotely close to the other numbers, so that's going to be my outlier. Now in our two examples, both of our outliers were greater than our data sets. However, outliers can also be less than our data sets. All right, that wraps up our lesson for today. If you have any questions, make sure to message me on Schoology. I believe you have 2 IXLs to do. They should be pretty easy. So let me know if you need any help, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.